Hello, we're here with MMA News Canada. I'm Brent Keryluke, about to phone Ryan McGillivray, talk to him about episode 5 of The Ultimate Fighter. Hi Ryan, how are you doing today?
Good, buddy. How are you doing?
Oh, not too bad. Not too bad. Watch last week's episode, or this last episode here. We kind of went over Chris and a few things with that. We already touched with it a bit about Chris kind of being a rat and telling the other teammates game plans, and he was sort of a joke. What was the overall impression on the team about Chris?
As far as our team was concerned, it was just a matter of him being a bit of a snoop, taking half an hour to make a smoothie in the kitchen or snooping around the cupboards in the kitchen and not actually getting anything and then going back over to his room when we were all sitting in the living room, having a chat and not even about anything in particular. He was just kind of hanging around when he didn't need to be. So he just was a little bit annoying. We had a little bit of fun with it when Mick and I wrote that he was a double agent in the sand.
So that was it. You were a part of that too?
Mick and I were just playing pool, and he wanted to write something in the sand, and I just kind of encouraged him. I didn't actually write anything or come up with the idea. That was all Mick, but I was with him when he wrote it.
Right. Yeah, and it started a lot of drama by that. It was kind of more, it seemed like it was more of an innocent thing, just writing it down, but sure kind of brought a lot of drama on their team. Yeah.
Yeah, well, we were just trying to do it to, maybe more just to let Chris know that we knew he was trying to do that, and it wasn't being very sneaky, and he was a terrible spy about it, and that was kind of more what our idea was, and then it kind of spun out of control a little bit.
Well, it did, but no one likes to see that, and it's just deceiving to other people, and then saying that he's an honest after people were saying yeah, but reality they didn't really feel he was being honest, right? So.
Yeah, and at the end of the day, he wasn't really getting any information, or he wasn't giving us any information, so he wasn't playing both sides, but it was kind of fun to make the other team think that.
Right, so there really wasn't any game plan being told. Was it maybe for his own purposes?
Yeah, I think he was a little bit insecure, and he was trying to get some information and things like that, but he wasn't playing both teams or one team or anything like that. It was just about him doing his own thing and trying to make himself feel a little more comfortable, I think.
Yeah. Well, on another point, though, I know that you don't go on The Ultimate Fighter to make friends, but is Chris going to have any friends at the end of the show?
I can't speak for everybody. Personally, I'm going to have to say no, but
yeah.
I don't think there's a whole bunch of people jumping at the opportunity, but I could be wrong.
Right. Well, you can see during the episode that Chris Chews, was he the only one besides you that did in the household?
Yeah, he kind of picked it up when he saw me doing it. He did a lot of things like that. I think he was trying to get more camera time. So originally I was the only one that chewed the first week or two, and then he's like, yeah, I used to when I was younger, and tried to start doing it. And then he also started studying the Bible once he saw Shamar was reading the Bible. I think he just kind of tried to fit in a little bit, or I really don't know what his issue was, but he kind of picked it up in the house a little bit. But other than that, yeah, it was just kind of me.
Okay.
And Coach Billy.
Yeah?
Yeah.
So, and another point, they kind of brought up the Canadian joke, that was that Canadian guy. Did they at all put you aside and kind of just say that you're the Canadian on the show, or did they make many jokes about it? Or?
No, it didn't really come up very much at all. It was just, we called Nordine Germany, we called Mick English. It was just a little bit of nicknames more than anything. It wasn't a derogatory sense. They're just a way of calling us out, I guess.
Well, that is kind of an interesting aspect that you got different countries involved in this show. Was it interesting seeing the different cultures?
I think everyone was everyone meshed pretty well together. It wasn't too much from different cultures. I think the only one that was really different is actually probably one of the closer ones, and that's Javi, who's actually lives in Vegas, but he's Mexican. But he's got a very different personality and different culture, and he probably was the most far out. Other than that, we were all pretty similar, I think.
Why was on the aspect of the fighting? Why was Mick picked? I know that you're not the coach, but for that matchup, it kind of seemed that Clay's stand-up was a little bit better than Mick's. What did he want to exploit on the coaches to win that fight?
I wouldn't say Clay's stand-up is overly better than Mick's. I think he had a better night. You see some flashes in that fight where Mick did really well, threw some good combinations together. But as far as the guys that were left over, Tony was to us known to be a really good wrestler, and Chuck was known to have a really good ground game where Mick has a solid ground game, not a great wrestling background, but is more of a stand-up striker. So we wanted to kind of go match up style against style and just have the two guys have a stand-up fight, and we thought that was Mick's best chance stylistically against who was remaining. Where I was when I said I thought Mick should get picked, because I mentioned to Junior just that I knew that Mick and I had some long talks about being homesick and missing our girls and stuff like that, and I wanted to make sure Mick got a chance to fight while missing his daughter was a motivation and not so much a distraction. I don't know if that played into the fact that that's why Junior picked him, but that was something I had mentioned beforehand to try to get Mick in there maybe a little sooner than later.
Yeah, and it did seem that he was turning it around through the fight, right? Clay came out with some really straight punches and caught him sometimes, but yeah, Mick wasn't totally out of the stand-up. It's a lot easier to comment on the fight from outside the cage, but what did you feel that Mick needed to do to be successful in his fight?
I thought they were both matched up pretty well stand-up-wise, and in my opinion, going into the fight and after, I thought whoever was going to be able to push the pace more, make the other guy back up a little bit more often, was going to get the edge in the fight. And I think Clay on that night was a little more aggressive, pushed Mick back a little more, and it's a lot harder throwing punches when you're backing up. So I think Mick had to be a little more aggressive and let his hands go and be a little more confident, and I think it would have been a different night.
Yeah, for sure. Especially that Clay banged up his pinky a little pretty bad there, so he was a little bit hesitant at the very end.
Right.
Yeah. Well, thanks for commenting on this week's episode, and we'll catch you next time, because I guess that episode's supposed to be 2 fights on that one they were mentioning?
I believe so. I'm not really sure how they're going to do it, but I think so.
Yeah, okay. Well, right on. We'll catch up with you next week, and then there should be lots to talk about.
Absolutely, buddy.
Okay. You bet. Thanks, Ryan.
Okay.
Bye. See ya.
Bye.
There you have it. Ryan himself saying that Chris really didn't tell the teammates' game plans that much. He was just really just being, the rat, kind of looking around, but really there was nothing said. But I guess the joke's on him. I know that not everyone's in there to make friends on The Ultimate Fighter, but you don't want to look like a clown either. But anyways, next episode, which should be a good one. Double fights on there, and looking forward to that one. That's everything from MMA News Canada.